OYEDEPO blows hot over millions stolen by church officials. Millions of naira allegedly stolen by some highly placed officials of the Living Faith Church Worldwide, aka Winners Chapel, drew the presiding bishop of the church, Dr. David OYEDEPO, into a rage at the Empowerment Summit organized by ordained workers of the church last Saturday. The annual event, which is usually attended by pastors, zonal ministers and their assistants, deacons, ushers, and other ordained workers of the church, where they are acquainted with the church program for the year, was presided over by OYEDEPO, while his deputy Bishop David Abioye was also in attendance. Both men ministered powerfully. OYEDEPO ministered on service, while Abioye spoke on consistency in service. Towards the end of the program, however, OYEDEPO took some time to talk about the goings on in the church. He revealed how some very high-up officials, mainly accountants, had looted the church's treasury. The bishop could not hide his disappointment that professionals trusted by the church to prevent fraud turned themselves into a network of fraudsters. Expressing his disappointment in the errant church officials who have since been relieved of their appointments in the church, he said, "Can you imagine accountants perpetrating fraud in the house of God? We had no choice but to dismiss them. You can imagine top church officials engaging in doubling figures and other dubious practices. Even after we dismissed them, we discovered more fraud. Those who should discover the fraud were the ones involved in it. One of them refused to confess until the last minute." He admonished the church members against employing the dismissed officials. He said he had to tell everyone present because he knew the dismissed officials will come to you for employment. Don't employ them and don't sympathize with them. Whoever sympathizes with the wicked is wicked himself. Dead silence fell on the gathering as the bishop retreated. Don't sympathize with any perpetrator of fraud, otherwise you are a partaker of the evil act. Wow, corruption everywhere. There is nowhere where there is no corruption. You can imagine. But the one that caught my attention is that when he said they should, that don't employ them and don't sympathize with them. Whoever sympathizes with them, whoever sympathizes with the wicked is wicked himself. I don't believe so. If they have repented, and of course, if they have repented, then why would they not sympathize with them? If they, if they are remorse of what they have done, if they are remorseful of what they have done, then why would they not sympathize with them? If it's very unfortunate. In my opinion, it's very, very unfortunate. We have done worse things. Even we that we are talking about, we have done worse things even to God. Does that mean He will not forgive us? Does that mean He will not give us second chance? So if they are remorseful, if they have repented of their sins, if they know that, okay, they won't do such a thing again, why won't they? Why won't they forgive them? Because when you sympathize with somebody, that means you have you have compassion. You have the ability to forgive that person. That is the meaning of sympathizing. When you sympathize with somebody, so I don't know what this means. Irrespective of what they have stolen, irrespective of what they have taken, at least they are in the church. They should be able to forgive, and that is what we preach. It's all about forgiveness. Whosoever that wants to sympathize, it depends on that person. But coming out to tell people, oh, don't forgive them, don't sympathize with them. I don't know whether they don't want to use that word forgive, because like I said, if you talk about forgive, sympathizing is, you are trying to forgive somebody. If you sympathize with you forgive the person irrespective of what the person has done. This is the same thing we are talking about now. They stole millions. They just stole millions. Ordinary money they stole, and the people should not sympathize with them, and they should not meaning they should not have anything to do with them. Because if you have a company and that kind of person comes and you say, okay, well, because you have done this, you have done that, no, I won't do that, you just have to go. That means you are not forgiving the person. That means you've already nailed the person, to the wall, that you can't get any sympathy and you can't be forgiven. That is what it means. In my opinion, that is how it ought to be. But as we speak, there's corruption everywhere. Corruption everywhere. You know, those are the things that they are supposed to be talking about most times. Not you build people. You don't build church as in physical church. The people are the church. But everybody believes that, oh, once I build 10,000 seats, 10,000, I'll be 10,000 seaters, 100,000 seaters of whatever. That is when I can. That is when I have already done the work of God. So, in my opinion, they can be forgiven. There is no offense that is too big. According to the report, it says dead silence fell on the ground as the bishop retreated. That means they will not be able to tell him or challenge him. For them to be quiet, for the congregation to be quiet, that means they are not really too, they are surprised about that statement that if they come for you or they come to you, don't sympathize with them. You know, it's somehow. And that was why it says dead silence fell on the gathering as the bishop retreated. He has to emphasize it again, that don't sympathize with any perpetrator of fraud, otherwise you are a partaker of the evil heart. What does that mean? So Jesus that was mingling, eating with the, drinking with the sinners, so he was a partaker of evil. You can imagine, because of how many millions they stole. You think they stole your money, so they should not be forgiven. If you don't sympathize them, that you are not forgiving them. So where does the spirit of forgiveness comes in? So they are entitled to their opinion, but he who has ear, let him hear what the spirit is saying. Majority of them might not agree to that, and that was why they kept quiet. Majority of them might not agree to that, and that is just the simple truth, irrespective of your sin. And that is what we preach, irrespective of your sin, irrespective of what you must have done. We have done worse things, and yet God is still forgiving. So why would you tell people not to sympathize with them? If they have repented and they are remorseful, why can't you? Why wouldn't you forgive them? Why wouldn't you sympathize with them? Because it's the same thing. You talk of sympathizing and forgiveness. They are the same thing. You can just use them interchangeably. Someone says these perpetrators of fraud, church workers, are members of Winner Chapel. That is his members. They know that Papa has been enriching himself from the members of his church. Therefore, they technically took some out of much Papa has gotten. Just like some people will say, Olegbe, Olegba. That's it. I think that's the interpretation of what this guy is saying, because they believe that, oh, the man has been having much. They themselves, they want to take it. That is even inconsequential. But what is obtainable is that irrespective of what they must have done, just like he said, that some of them, you know, to the last minute, maybe one of them or some of them did not even agree, or didn't even confess. But at the end of the day, maybe the person confessed, but irrespective of anything, at the end of the day, they've been caught. You know, you get just to forgive them, not telling members of the church not to forgive them or not to sympathize with them. And what is the big deal, or what is wrong if even the pastor himself of the church itself forgive them and sympathize with them and pray for them and deliver them, because they are church members as well? Someone says, in the church, then why are we blaming government? Of course, we have to blame government. That one is a different thing. If anybody does something that is wrong, you know, the person must be, must be blamed, and the person must be criticized. It has nothing to do with whether government or inside it's happened inside church. Someone is quoting him that don't sympathize with them, don't employ them, and all of that. He say, Pastor OYEDEPO, please tell us, what were you doing with Atiku? Were you not sympathizing with Atiku? Were you not selling Atiku for us to employ to the highest office in Nigeria? Atiku is not a fraud king. Is Atiku not a fraud king? Pastor, now wow. Exactly my point. Someone says, come, does that mean Papa doesn't believe in repentance? I just the ask you. Of course. This particular person has a question, and some people are coming here to interpret what it means. Someone say it means conniving with them or accommodating them while they are wrong. But if they come with a change heart or have changed, then you can move with them. No, he didn't say that. Now I don't know why this person is trying to defend the man. The man didn't say that if they he didn't say that. He just said, don't employ them, don't sympathize with them. That's all. That's all. Another one says, this action has nothing to do with repentance. If the accused persons were the ones who boldly come out to confess what they did, the church can decide to forgive them. But this time around, they were caught and they never wanted to give up. So there is no repentance in them. The best thing is to go. Can't you do deliverance for them? And whether they come, whether they were caught, it's inconsequential. Sin is sin, and they have been caught. Why can't they even preach to them? Because I don't know whether they have been hearing the word of God. Why can't they be preached to? Why can't they tell them what to do? It's still all about forgiveness. Whether you caught them or they came out of their own volition to confess, it's inconsequential. That's it. And someone says here, consequences, young man. Which consequences are you talking about? After you were forgiven for your own sins, you guys are just hypocrites. I don't know why they are talking about. It's not up to. It's not. They have to face the consequences. Can you imagine? This is really terrible. And someone says, when the money is not going to the poor, it will definitely find its way somewhere else. And someone says here, well, this is my take. Please, Bishop OYEDEPO, there is something called forgiveness in the world. Please forgive them and recall all of them and reorientate them and put them back. I mean those that have not got job among them. Jehovah God, our creator, the only one of Israel, the most merciful, do forgive us each time we offend him. And he even charged us to forgive one another. So please, let's forgive and forget. And someone is even seeing this whole thing from a different perspective. The person says, those dismissed accounts will soon expose wrongdoings in the church hierarchy, soon to come. And that's what the person is saying, that those that have been dismissed, those accountants that have been dismissed, that very soon you start hearing them exposing a lot of things. Well, that is their own cup of tea. All I know, from the only thing I can just take from all of these things is just that there is corruption everywhere, there is sin everywhere, and encourage people not to be involved in all those things that are not really that are sinful. And if you find yourself in that situation, you are not in a position to tell people not to sympathize with them or not to forgive them. Forgive them and let life move on, because we all too no one is perfect. No one is perfect. And where forgiveness is supposed to be preached, it is in the house of God. And if you are getting such things that, oh, don't sympathize with them, don't do this and that, why won't you? Is it not out of compassion that Christ died for us, even when we were sinners? We didn't even beg for forgiveness. We didn't even ask him to do that. We didn't even know what he was even doing, even before he died for everybody. So some people who are coming to say they didn't come out, or they didn't come out to confess that they were caught, it's inconsequential. Jesus died for us while we were yet sinner. He died for us. A lot of people didn't even know what he did, but yet he did it. So what are you telling us? That don't sympathize with them. If Christ did not sympathize with us, he wouldn't have died for us in the first place. He would have just said, okay, you have to beg for forgiveness before we die for you. But it goes beyond that. What is money in the first place? So guys, that's my opinion. You have your own right to hear your opinion. Don't come and drop what is not here. Of course, we know how to handle such things. State your whatever respectfully. If you want to defend anybody, you are very free, but don't insult anybody. Leave your comments below. Thank you.